Welcome to the Let's Talk Internet Computer Podcast. Today, our guest is the founder of UnfoldVR, George Cretu. UnfoldVR is a virtual reality app running fully on chain on Internet Computer Protocol. Thank you so much, George Cretu, for being with us today.
Thank you, Javier, for having me. I'm actually very excited to be joining you. And I will just add to your intro that we're also a web app, and we're kind of juggling between the VR app and the web app, trying to add features to both of those.
Oh, nice. Okay, thank you. It's a virtual reality app and web app as well.
Exactly. Everything on chain.
Everything on chain, on Internet Computer Protocol. Yeah, George, tell us more about you. Please introduce yourself, and before to start to dig in more in the project. Yeah, what is your background and your previous jobs and your previous experience before to undertake this project, please?
It's a long history, but I'll try to keep it short. So I guess my professional career started around 17. That was before the real estate crisis. So I was doing professional real estate renderings, so CGIs, 3D renderings for the real estate industry back then. Then the market kind of crashed, so I had to do freelancing because I was hooked to doing graphics and as a freelancer. So I did a whole bunch of stuff as a freelancer: 2D graphics, concept art, game design, documents, game design, development. And at the end of the day, I think when I look back, I think that period kind of helped me a lot, because now I kind of dipped my toes in a whole bunch of verticals when it comes to game design. And after finishing my studies, I'm a major in architecture, like construction architecture. I founded a company, CG Artifacts, and I kind of started hiring people, bootstrapping it. CG Artifacts team is essentially the team behind UnfoldVR. And behind UnfoldVR is CG Artifacts, and UnfoldVR is our full-time focus right now. But originally, CG Artifacts was doing B2B VR and AR development. So B2B means business to business. So we were doing enterprise apps for training, for marketing and PR, for everything that was VR and AR related that companies or marketing agencies wanted. And kind of that got us started with UnfoldVR, because during the pandemic, we were suddenly left out of maybe 50% of our business, because a lot of our business at that time was happening in physical locations, because not everybody has a VR headset. So a lot of our projects were actually brand activations, or even if they were training, we were providing the hardwares to the enterprise clients, and everybody shut down. So all of that got kind of canceled. So we were thinking, okay, let's start building our own app. This was something that we discussed internally for quite some time then. And we started brainstorming ideas, we started testing ideas, and that took us maybe 2 years until early 2022, when we finally kind of added the crypto layer, and we saw the potential of ICP to kind of fill in the vision that we had for UnfoldVR, which was originally called, I think, Coach VR, and then it shifted to Think Tools VR. And finally, once we kind of landed on all the vision and all the moving parts kind of fit together, we called it UnfoldVR, because it kind of represented better what the app was all about. So in a nutshell, I think that's my history. We are a team of 5 right now. Hopefully we'll be growing a lot in the near future. But yeah, we'll see what 2023 brings.
Wow, yeah, amazing story. And also, yeah, the history of UnfoldVR is not new, as you mentioned. It's formed by five people, like veteran group and experts in developed custom in virtual reality, and then augmented reality for B2B. You have been working with many Fortune 500 companies, right? In marketing, real estate, training before. Then in 2022, you realized about internet computer, and you start to look in how you can the ways to integrate blockchain technology and with your company, and you found internet computer. How it was the first approach, and how an experienced team focused on Web2 projects decided to migrate totally to Web3, and why have you been chosen internet computer? I know also that you got a grant from the Definity Foundation, but I would like to know. I'm curious to know more about these steps. If you like selected internet computer from a list of blockchains, or what is your first approach and how you meet ICP?
Yeah, we have an interesting story about that. So we were first exposed to Internet Computer Protocol before early 2022. I think 2019 or maybe even earlier, because of our essentially physical proximity to district team. So we are friends with some people that work at district, and we kind of followed them around, and we got to see maybe from behind the scenes how ICP as a blockchain evolved, because very well that district is one of the OG projects on ICP, and they launched when there were so many limitations on canisters and calls and all of that, and we were kind of hearing their stories and seeing what challenges they had, and we kind of got to witness how the blockchain, the ICP blockchain, evolved in its early days. So we were very fortunate to have that, direct proximity with a team working, with an amazing team working on ICP. So that was our first introduction to ICP. But early 2022, it was even if we already knew about ICP for over a year, it kind of struck us, like that Eureka moment where we realized, wow, NFTs used as digital tools for managing digital ownership. That's the missing link from our product, and that's how once we started saying our vision about how you can create content and how you can monetize that content and how you can discover content and share it. All of that suddenly made a lot more sense when we added the NFT layer. So that was, it was just, I guess, a natural progression of us being exposed to a lot of mediums. And when we realized how NFTs can work for us, it was a click. And also, of course, in the very early days, NFTs weren't that popular on the ICP blockchain. So maybe that's why we didn't make that connection maybe sooner. And obviously, I personally didn't inherit any money from a wealthy family or somebody else. So we had to run our business to make money. So we had to keep working for those Fortune 500 companies to keep the team paid and all our expenses covered. So early 2022, we applied for a grant, and having that grant, that was actually one of the catalysts that gave us the confidence of saying, let's jump all in, put all our resources besides the grant funding, and just give it a shot. And we, for the next couple of months, we essentially closed out all of our running contracts, and we started focusing fully on UnfoldVR.
Yeah, you decided, yeah, let's go and do that, right?
Exactly.
That's great. Okay, UnfoldVR. Honestly, I think is one of the most underrated projects on ICP. This is my opinion, at least not as well known as others projects. Honestly, um, yeah, it's leading the metaverse and virtual reality market right now. It's honestly one of the best projects that we have in ICP. What is exactly Unfold VR for the audience, for new audience and people that never listened before the Unfold VR? What is exactly this company and what are you doing now?
So our vision is to decentralize asset creation and discovery for the new creator economy. You can say for the metaverse, but that's a kind of a loaded term nowadays. And by the new creator economy, I mean the interactive, real-time experiences that we see on digital projects, including metaverse projects all around us. And what that means is that we want to empower creators to make real-time interactive 3D content and share it with their communities. So now, at this point, the creator economy is maybe 95% about static images and videos on TikTok, Instagram, and maybe a few other platforms. But we see slowly a significant growth in the new creator economy, which is marked by apps like Roblox or Rec Room or VR Chat or Sandbox and Decentraland and other metaverse initiatives, where the content is not just a static image that you scroll around, mindlessly, but it's something that you can engage with. It's either a short virtual experience, it's maybe a funny 3D model, it's a fun art, Minecraft. Just think of all the creativity and the creator economy around Minecraft. So all of these are interactive environments where the user is not just passively observing. They can do that, but the user is invited to interactively engage with the content, to immerse himself or herself in the content. And we want to position UnfoldVR as the building block for this new creator economy. We want people to use UnfoldVR to create content that goes into all of these platforms eventually, the open ones, because Minecraft will never allow content from UnfoldVR, but Decentraland or Sandbox or Rec Room will. And we also realized that the metaverse as a concept is still very, very early on. So we're very much focused on building. You touched upon this, that we probably should focus more on marketing our product. And we're very honest about this. And the metaverse is still very early on. So to incentivize creators to build their audience and bring their audience to UnfoldVR, we kind of started working on a lot of discovery tools. So we want to be a TikTok for VR content, where you can just jump from virtual world to virtual world and just experience them on a rolling basis, much like you would experience funny videos or interesting videos on TikTok. So that is UnfoldVR. That's the vision that we aim for.
Mm-hmm. Now you are collaborating with a lot of different projects in UnfoldVR, very varied and with different perspectives and objectives. Pocket Studio, District, as you mentioned before, Plethora, VR, STL, Nauts, Dogfinity, Origin Tech. Could you explain with more details what are these collaboration based on and how are you helping them?
So we want, like I said, UnfoldVR, we hope people spend a lot of time in UnfoldVR, but we also want UnfoldVR to be a tool that empowers users to create content that goes on other platforms. So if people want to use UnfoldVR to make artworks that go into the Shiku Metaverse when it gets launched, we are a strategic partner for Shiku Metaverse. We also hope our content to go into IC 1101. We also hope, content from all the projects that you mentioned, they're 3D NFTs, where we kind of supported them and other projects into setting them up. we want their content to be running inside UnfoldVR. So we're the only project where you can actually see the Moonwalkers from Plethora Games as 3D NFTs and into an AR environment if you use your mobile device. And we want to extend that for Motocomex and a lot of other 3D NFTs. So seeing ourselves as a tool, we want to embed in multiple directions, also meaning we want content from Unfold to be accessible in other platforms, but also 3D content from other projects to be accessible and visible inside UnfoldVR. That's one of the overall goals of all of these partnerships. And the underlying theme here is the metaverse as a concept is all about creators, and it's powered by creators. So UnfoldVR will never be able, even with maybe infinite funding, will not be able to create enough content to populate a true metaverse experience. Whereas if we empower the creators to make that content or a big part of that content, then we can actually play a role in all this metaverse ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and also we discussed with different projects, as you mentioned now, how you collaborated and how you try to empowering. You are like a tool empowering for the users and for your clients in different projects. But I'm curious about the self-minting tool that you have created with the Origin NFT. What is exactly the Butterfly NFT collection and how you have achieved create a self-minting 3D NFT? Honestly, I watched the video in YouTube and it's speechless. This is something super disruptive. This is something amazing. A lot of different projects, they will want to use this technology. The video, for those who have not seen, is regards the butterfly. First is creating an NFT butterfly. Then the butterfly is alive and in 3D and start to fly in the metaverse. That's crazy. Yeah, can you explain more about this new feature?
Yeah, but first I would want to point out that we released a full documentation on how we actually achieved this. So if you're a developer on the IC, check out the Definity forums or check our social media posts, and you'll see for sure links to that documentation. Maybe you can add it in the show notes.
Yeah, for sure.
Javier. So anybody can use Origin Tech to kind of do what we did by following our guide, which hopefully will save you guys some time. So yeah, we chose first of all Origin Tech NFTs framework because we saw it as the most creator-centric NFT platform out there. With Origin NFTs is they kind of created a system where it's very hard to cheat on royalties. And cheating on royalties is cheating the creators first and foremost, and that's why we kind of adopted their tech. And they also, besides all the royalty stuff, I think their protocol is first of all very, very versatile and kind of fitted all of our needs. And the Butterflies NFTs are in many ways just the first step towards our true vision of self-minting. And the next step and the main step towards that is empowering users to draw in 3D, either in the VR app or in the web app, and mint those drawings. They're completely unique creations as 3D NFTs. But the Butterflies NFTs were the first step, and we decided to go with a butterfly builder because it was easier to reach also the web users who don't have the VR app. So it was easier for us to make that builder. And also we thought a lot about having a companion in the VR app and with you. And kind of this butterfly concept, I think it fitted extremely well with that, because until a lot of users will have VR headsets and you'll be able to have multiplayer experiences, it can be a bit lonely in the VR space. So we're hoping having your butterfly there next to you in VR will help out. And we also want to use the butterfly as kind of a messenger for UnfoldVR in other metaverse projects like Shiku or IC 1101. And that's the vision for the butterflies. Other than that, if you have a creator glove, you can log into UnfoldVR, go to Mint NFT tab, and you'll be able to assemble your unique 3D butterfly. Then you'll be able to mint with that creator glove. There are a bunch of rules there. You can mint one every 2 weeks, and you have a limit of how many butterfly NFTs you have. And then the interesting part is that you have dynamic parameters within the butterfly NFT. Just like you will have dynamic parameters in the VR or web drawings in the future. That was very important for us because a critical aspect that we want to add both to the butterflies and to future drawings NFTs is voting. So we want, if somebody upvotes your creation, we want that information saved in the NFT, which I think is a very, very unique concept that hasn't been done yet. So you have upvotes on everything and likes, but what if those likes are embedded in the NFT? So when you trade it with all its history essentially, and all its aggregated value. So if you really created something beautiful in UnfoldVR, and you want to pass it along, then you pass it along with the validation that it was really beautiful because a lot of people trusted it and liked it. Currently, with the butterflies, we have a spirit value which kind of reflects the energy of the butterfly, and it kind of also, we want to gamify it and incentivize people to visit UnfoldVR daily to collect their spirit value, much like I don't know if this is popular in Spain, Tamagotchi. If you know, when you have a pet, it's the same concept. And we really want to have the butterflies in AR as well. So it's like an AR Tamagotchi. I think that's also a very cool idea. Yeah. And all of these will come in the coming months. And if you reach a certain level, then you'll have some superpowers on your butterfly, and that will unlock some special features in UnfoldVR app as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow. This is crazy. The project of the Tamagotchi. Yeah, that's the people can voting the best NFTs and are embedded in the NFT directly. You can feed your and take care of your NFT. That's something amazing.
And everything is on chain. So if you spent a lot of time, growing your butterfly, you can sell it with all that embedded into it, right? Because that's inside the NFT. And actually, another critical element that I don't think has ever been done on ICP is that with Origin, when you make a sale, you have a very complex or not necessarily complex, but versatile system of royalties. So you have royalties that go to the marketplace. You have royalties that go to who listed on the marketplace. You have royalties that go to the creator. But you can have actually two different types of creators with Origin NFTs. And one of them is, in our case, it can be UnfoldVR. We are the creator of the infrastructure, let's say. But also we worked with Origin, and they made another royalty destination to be a variable on an NFT basis. So each NFT has a different originator. That's the name that Origin Tech uses. And the originator is actually the user's wallet. So if you created a butterfly NFT, in the future any drawing with UnfoldVR, if that drawing gets sold 10 times in the next 2 years, you will be collecting royalties on that. And so far, that's a typical behavior for a collection, but it's not a typical behavior for an NFT, right? Each collection on ICP has one creator, right? It can be like with the creator gloves. UnfoldVR is the creator. Or, District pods. District is the creator. But with butterflies, we have, hundreds and thousands of creators. we get a royalty cut as UnfoldVR, as the builders of the tool, but also each individual creator, they will get royalty forever for their original NFTs, which is something I don't think there's ever been a collection with dynamic creator royalties.
Yeah. And Unfold have a lot of different projects now in mind and are developing like exponentially, but is still in the early stages. What are new improvements that we will see in this year and the next near future? And what will be your next big project? For sure, the butterfly NFT minting and like the different projects that you mentioned before are like the big ones. But yeah, I'm curious if you are thinking to any other improvement, collaboration, or any other big project that you will be able to develop in the future, in the 2023 or near.
Yeah, so our that's a great question, and it's been a lot on our minds. The very next thing that we're actually started working on is enabling web users to draw in the same way as VR users can draw. Obviously, using a mouse or maybe even touch on their mobile device. But we want more people to be able to use our drawing tools, the voxel drawing tools, much like you would draw in I guess the sandbox or Minecraft. We want more people to draw by enabling these tools in the web app. And then we want to make those drawings mintable as 3D NFTs. And on top of this, we will be launching in the next couple of months our discovery feature, which is a critical component for UnfoldVR actually. So we launched discovery, actually it's called Explore right now in the app, where you can explore other users' profiles and see what the public NFTs they put out there. But it's not that engaging. But what we want to do is actually launch this let's say TikTok for 3D content, for interactive content, where just like on TikTok you swipe from content to content, we want users to swipe from 3D artworks to 3D artworks made by UnfoldVR users. So that's I guess these are the main directions that we're going through. So again, bringing all the VR features in the web app and making UnfoldVR creations both discoverable in a TikTok-like feed and mintable as 3D NFTs, just like the butterflies are mintable right now.
Mm-hmm. Like an art social media dedicated to people that create things on UnfoldVR. And then for sure, like people can start to like see videos of different creators and voting and interact with these artists.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Wow.
The first interactions will be likes or upvotes and downvotes, because we see them also kind of as a self-moderating tool, right? So we don't want to show you stuff that has a lot of downvotes, much like Reddit does. But we plan to add more interactions and more ways for creators to grow their audience. But these are the first steps. Yeah.
My question also is UnfoldVR, before it were more focusing on B2B for business, and also you try to empowering different dApps and other projects. For users, now users can enter in the unfoldvr.com, interact and create their own NFTs, mine the NFTs, the butterfly NFTs. My question is, UnfoldVR is more focusing on B2B or B2C? Is more for companies, more for users? Is a mix for both? This is my question, because I know before you work more with companies and with projects, but now you are also working more with users. And what is the perspective, the forecast for the future in these things?
So I guess our vision from the start was to focus a lot on consumers, But especially because it was I guess a learning curve for us to understand the blockchain and understand the needs of our users. We kind of took this route with approaching other ICP projects and partnering up with them. And we'll definitely be doing that in the future, because right now NFT protocols are not at all standardized on the IC or anywhere for that matter. So until there's a more uniform way of interpreting NFTs, we need to have one-to-one relationships with partner projects if we want UnfoldVR creations made by users and for users to go to those projects, to be compatible with other projects. And also the other way around, if you want content created by or other 3D NFTs projects to be visible and usable within UnfoldVR, we need one-on-one conversations and relationships with those projects to make sure there's a compatibility there. But the end goal is to focus on creators and creatives and helping them grow an audience in UnfoldVR. That's definitely the goal.
Okay. And what is the UnfoldVR business model? I mean, how you plan to grow and still collaborating with big companies and with clients and attract more people from Web 2 to build on ICP? Well, in terms of business, you get some fees from people like mint NFTs, or how is exactly you can escalate and grow for the future in terms of an application like people can use in a massive way?
Yeah, so that's also a great question. We have two monetization verticals. One of them is we monetize by issuing NFTs that give you let's say that work as a subscription, that give you powers or superpowers in UnfoldVR. So anybody can use UnfoldVR without any NFTs. But if you don't hold a Creator Glove NFT that we issued in the past, you can't mint Butterflies NFTs, and you won't be able to mint 3D drawings in the future. So if people buy Creator Gloves and they have bought them, and if they trade Creator Gloves, then we make a profit. And in the future, we'll be launching additional such, let's say, subscription NFTs where maybe the Creator Gloves are give you all the benefits for lifetime, but we'll launch, let's say, lower tier NFTs that just enable you to mint, or maybe enable you to draw with a wider color palette and all this type of add-ons within UnfoldVR. So that's one vertical where we sell NFTs that work as a subscription for our users, for our power users, let's say. And then the second vertical, which we hope in the long term will become the main way we'll monetize, is that once people start trading creations made with UnfoldVR, and we'll launch trading butterflies very soon, and then we'll be able to trade drawings. UnfoldVR will always take a small commission out of those transactions, and the creators will also themselves take their own commission. So if somebody spends 20 hours in UnfoldVR drawing this amazing Star Wars spacecraft replica, all with voxels, and it has characters and all of that, and they want to sell that, we will take that will be a valuable 3D NFT that might be very valuable in another metaverse project or just as an artwork, and we'll take a small commission out of that, out of any further transactions for that NFT. And if we'll end up having thousands and tens of thousands of users, we hope those small commissions will add up to create a sustainable business model.
Okay, and also you mentioned that the creations, the butterfly creations, or whatever people create on UnfoldVR, is it possible to use in other metaverse outside ICP? You mentioned something about the sandbox or the Decentraland.
Yeah, our long-term view is to be blockchain agnostic. meaning probably we'll always have the backend on ICP, but other than that, we want to support additional blockchains NFTs, especially if they have traction and if we see value within those ecosystems. Currently, I mean, there's not much value behind the sandbox or Decentraland, but maybe in the future there will be, or maybe there other projects will show up that are more decentralized, and maybe they are built on a different blockchain. And we want to support those. But as a first step towards supporting other metaverse projects on other platforms, we want to allow users for free to download their creations that they made with UnfoldVR and just export them as a GLTF or another type of 3D file format. And then they will be able to manually upload them in another blockchain based project. So that's the first layer of integration. But maybe in the future, if indeed there is potential, we are open to supporting other NFT frameworks.
Okay, I love the word blockchain agnostic. This is amazing. Yeah, for sure, you need to grow first, and the internet computer is the best blockchain to do that, because it's 100% on chain, back end, front end, and the smart contracts canisters can help you to.
I mean, blockchain ICP is helping us here because, you know, with the BTC integration and soon, you know, using the HTTP requests and there are other technologies within ICP, will be able to support other blockchains, you know, without leaving ICP as a backend solution. So I think that's exceptionally interesting about ICP.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Also, yeah, this is maybe not philosophical question, but more like for like the founder of this project. Someone like as you, like, are so passionate with your project and what are you doing now. What do you think makes this project unique? How, like, the cinema industry, video games, metaverse in general, like the Web2 industry, can they benefit from what UnfoldVR brings now to the audience?
I think there's a lot of maybe small things that make us unique. I think one of the key aspects about UnfoldVR is our commitment towards openness. So we see, I personally see the metaverse as you know, very high potential industry and ecosystem. And I use this word ecosystem because I don't think any one company will own the metaverse. So I don't think Facebook or Meta will own the metaverse, or Apple or Google or any one of these you know, big tech players. What I expect to happen is to see an ecosystem of metaverse projects, and if they are indeed to take hold, they will most likely behave much like the internet behaves today. And if you look at the internet is, you know, more or less open and more or less decentralized, right? So in most countries, the internet is both open and decentralized. So you can choose your carrier. You know, data is for the most part not restricted. Anybody has access to upload something or read something from the internet. And in the same spirit, I think the metaverse, if it is to be successful, it has to be both open and decentralized. So I see us kind of empowering that and being open in terms of empowering other projects. I think that will also help us grow, because we can grow alongside all of these other projects. And I think the market is so big that you know, worrying about competition at this stage is, you know, maybe childish. I mean, there's room for 10 more UnfoldVR projects in the ICP ecosystem and in the overall metaverse environment.
Great, thanks. Yeah, the last question is more related with the marketing. yes, I'm curious if you are working now in any campaign or any advertisement, any marketing campaign. What is your strategy to growth in terms of announcements? In terms of, I know like you are pretty active in Twitter, but yes, I'm curious if you are collaborating with any other company or because the project honestly is pretty unique, and this is something like can be escalate like worldwide and be recognized and in other blockchains and in other industries, and is one of the best projects to attract artists and people from Web 2 to Web 3 and migrating to the internet computer. And for sure, marketing campaigns is pretty important for these projects that are in an earlier stages. Yes, I'm curious if you're working now in any type of campaign.
Yeah. So what we've been trying to do for, I guess, a month or two before the year ended, and we just started it. Actually, today I posted a new YouTube video. Is opening up on YouTube platform, discussing about UnfoldVR, but also about the metaverse in general, about different players, bigger or smaller, in the metaverse space, about NFTs, about all things metaverse. And you can leave, I guess, our YouTube channel in the description of this podcast. It's
Sure.
Metaverse Unfolds is the channel. So that's one avenue where I'm trying to post weekly videos on this type of topics geared towards creators, and trying to build a community there, because like you said, our objective is to bring people from outside the ICP community to the IC community. And Twitter is a great way to reach the IC community, but we kind of tend to stay in that bubble, and we all hear each other's talk, and there's a few active people in the Twitter sphere, let's say, but a lot of people don't access those conversations because they simply don't follow us. So I'm hoping our Twitter, our YouTube initiative will help us get a broader reach. And also, while we're still not 100% decided, we might run a crowdfund NFT campaign. We had some early conversation with them, and if we decide to go that route, we'll definitely step up our communication channels, trying to reach even more audience, and we'll probably tailor that our marketing towards the crowdfund campaign, which will probably be a bit different than type of marketing you do for just promoting the tools, I guess.
Yeah, YouTube channel, honestly, I think is a really empowering tool, because everybody loves videos, everybody loves entering YouTube, and also UnfoldVR is so visually, you are doing things that is beautiful. Maybe if your company is more related with software developers or like coding, maybe it's more difficult to do this type of videos, but in your case, that's amazing. I posted on my LinkedIn the last video that you did in YouTube, the butterfly one. Everybody like see like these videos, like, wow, what is that, and try to get the attention and try to read more and know more about UnfoldVR, right? And I think this is a good way to do the marketing. And for sure, the crowdfund NFT, keep me posted, because I want to invest.
For sure.
And now, if I'm like an investor or someone outside ICPs, like investor or VR or whatever, and can try to be involved in your project and support you and be part of UnfoldVR, is because you're not working on tokenization, right? You don't have any token apart. You don't working on decentralized autonomous organizations in DAOs and anything. Is any way that any investor like interested in UnfoldVR can support you?
Well, actually, we are actively trying to close a seed round. We are actually in conversation with multiple VCs at this point. So if you are a VC or even an angel investor, you can reach out, and there's definitely room for you. We don't want to close a big round. The market is obviously also not helping us, but our doors are open if you are actually considering investing in UnfoldVR. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's answering your question.
Yeah. No, for sure. Okay, and yeah, your Twitter is open if someone is interested or whatever, and any VR or angel investor, yeah, for sure, you can reach out directly, and yeah, the team respond you as soon as possible because they use the Twitter always, and yeah, you can reach out to them.
Okay, I remember what I wanted to say. You touched upon DAO and tokenization.
Yeah.
I think for many projects, it can actually hurt them to focus a lot on tokenization and a DAO early on. So if you look at projects like Decentraland or the Sandbox, they hurried to launch their coin, to use it as essentially an investment vehicle. But none of them are nowhere near being a true DAO. And I love what ICP and Definity is doing with SNS, but I think we are years away from achieving that vision of a truly decentralized autonomous organization, and that's definitely something we aspire to. So in the future, we hope to launch our token. We hope to have an SNS launch or a different kind of launch, and decentralize the development and maintenance of UnfoldVR. But I realistically expect that to happen 3-4 years into the future. So there's essentially no need for us to worry that much about it. Obviously for an investor or even for a crowdfund campaign, we can consider some form of tokenization, but that's not a priority for us because we don't see us launching a token that soon.
Okay, yeah, have sense for sure. Okay, that's all for today. George Cretu, founder of UnfoldVR. Thank you so much for your time today to share all your knowledge and your thoughts about the industry, about UnfoldVR. We talk about metaverse, talking about creations, NFTs. Yeah, I think it's a super interesting interview with you. Yeah, people for sure want to know more about UnfoldVR. You are doing a great job, crazy things, and yeah, we need to spread more the word for this type of projects that are unique and have like a totally disruptive vision. Yeah, I'm not sure if you want to add something more, George, but yeah, thank you for your time today.
I think I spoke enough. Hopefully, not too much. And I just want to say thank you so much, Javier, for having me on. You are right. We need to spread the word about UnfoldVR in as far and as wide as possible. So again, thank you so much for having me on your show. You had some very insightful questions. I really love the format, and can't wait to hear myself doing a lot of us and whatever verbal tics I typically have on your podcast.
Okay, thank you for your time. Yeah, take care, George.
Thanks,
See you soon.
have an awesome day.
You too. Bye.
Cheers.